Good morning, Cullman. Thank you for joining us on Cullman Today. I'm your host, Christine Wiggins, and today is Wednesday, March 5th. Coming up on Cullman Today, Fairview Town Council meeting, a library fundraising event, and Cullman's Micropolitan ranking. All of this plus sports, weather, and more. Now let's take a closer look at the top stories happening in Cullman today. The Fairview Town Council met Monday, and in the wake of Fire Chief Alan Miner's passing, they discussed options for showing their respect. In lieu of flowers, the council decided to offer a donation. The council will meet with the fire department to identify needs and make an official motion for a donation at the next meeting. The next item of business was the need of a new utility task vehicle for park maintenance. The council made a motion for the mayor to spend up to $12,000 and purchase the vehicle upon council approval via telephone, as the UTV is needed before the next scheduled meeting. In other business, the council discussed updated patching of Wesley Avenue, and the mayor will travel to Adeka on Thursday to discuss updating the sewer system in hopes of welcoming new businesses in the future. The next Fairview Town Council meeting is scheduled for 6 p.m. on April 7th at Fairview Town Hall. Annabelle Howes brings us our next story from Ethos Brewery.
Who doesn't love a good book and a good cause? This past weekend, Ethos Brewery became a book lover's heaven. The Friends of the Public Libraries of Cullman County partnered with Ethos to host a 50-cent book sale, with all proceeds going toward the upcoming library expansion project. The partnership with Ethos is a new addition to the annual book sale, bringing in a lot of fresh energy and new faces. Overall, the event's purpose is to raise funds for the library improvements. Joel Meggs, chairman of the Public Library Board, has more to say on the project as well as the public's response to the book sale.
We at the library we are launching a capital campaign to do a renovation and an addition to our current library. So as many of our longtime Cullman residents know, our library has not been renovated since the 60s. So we're hoping to fund some much needed improvements on that space so that future generations can enjoy it. We have had a fantastic response this morning. We've probably had 50 to 60 people come through in the first hour, and they have loaded up their bags with books. And we have seen from the smallest of patrons, from toddlers all the way up to our older patrons, come and fill up bags, and they are excited to read.
If you missed the event, there are still other ways for you to support the library in raising funds. You can go to the Friends of the Public Libraries of Cullman County Facebook page or their Instagram, check out the book Cullman, where you'll find links to donate. With a tremendous community response, organizers are hopeful that the library renovation will soon become a reality. This has been Annabelle Howes with Cullman Today.
For the 19th time in 23 years, Cullman has earned a spot amongst the top micropolitan areas in the United States, ranking 5th in Site Selection magazine's prestigious Micropolitan rankings for 2025. Out of over 570 eligible U.S. communities, this ranking highlights the economic vitality and growth that continues to define Cullman. The recognition underscores the ongoing efforts of the Cullman Economic Development Agency and the community as a whole to foster a strong economy. Cullman Mayor Woody Jacobs called it a win, not just for Cullman City, but for every Cullman County resident. The rankings are based on the number of projects in the community, each meeting specific criteria such as creating at least 20 jobs, generating $1 million capital investment, or adding 20,000 square feet to facilities. Dale Greer, director of Cullman Economic Development Agency, emphasized that companies only make significant investments when they have the confidence in the community and its people. Cullman has ranked in the top 20 a total of 19 times in the 23-year history of the ranking program, and in the top 3, 7 times. And those are the top stories happening in Cullman today. Coming up, Good Hope Downs West Point on the road. Sports is next. Welcome back. In today's sports segment, let's take a look at some of the latest local softball action. Good Hope traveled to West Point for a varsity matchup with the Lady Warriors Monday night, and after 4 scoreless innings, the Raiders' bats came alive in the 5th. Good Hope put 7 runs on the board in the final 3 frames to pull away and claim a 7-1 win over West Point. Molly Benefield got the start and the win for the Lady Raiders, allowing just 1 run on 3 hits and racking up 14 strikeouts. Neither team was able to put a runner on base in the first inning. Brayley Phillips reached first in the bottom of the second with a single, but was left stranded, keeping the game scoreless. Lizzie Steed led off the top of the 4th with a single into right field, but Good Hope was unable to capitalize, and the game remained scoreless going into the 5th. In the top of the 5th, Natalie Miller knocked a double into center field to give the Raiders a run in scoring position with 1 out. Miller was tagged out at third on a fielder's choice, but after Addison Burgess drew a walk, Brooklyn Lambert drove a single into left field to bring Kylie Smith home and give Good Hope a 1-0 lead. 2 pitches later, Steed put an RBI double into center field to put the Raiders on top 2-0 going into the bottom half of the inning. The Warriors went down in order in the bottom of the 5th, and Good Hope added to its lead in the top of the 6th. Campbell Cook drew a walk, and Haley Lay reached on an error to give the Raiders a pair of runners on base. Later in the inning, Miller knocked an RBI single into center field to plate Cook and give it a 3-0 game. A couple pitches later, Smith put 1 in play to allow Gracie Garman to score and extended the lead to 4-0 going into the bottom of the 6th. West Point got on the board in the bottom half of the inning with an RBI single from Macy Brown, but Good Hope added to its lead in the top of the 7th. Lambert led off 7th with a single and scored on an error just 2 pitches later to make it a 5-1 game. Back-to-back RBI singles from Maggie O'Neill and Cook stretched the Raider lead to 7-1, and Good Hope collected the final 3 outs in the bottom of the 7th to wrap up a 7-1 road win. Steed, Miller, and Lambert each posted a pair of hits for Good Hope in the win. Catherine Yovino, Brown, and Phillips each recorded hits for West Point. And that wraps up sports for today. After the break, we'll bring you 4 stories in under 4 minutes, including a health needs survey and a community luncheon. Welcome back. Now it's time to speed things up with a news rundown, 4 stories in under 4 minutes. The Alabama Cooperative Extension System is hosting a Get Outside with Alabama Smart Yards webinar series. This online series is brought to you by the Home Grounds, Gardens, and Home Pest team. Throughout the year, the team will provide 30-minute segments on common gardening information, home pests, fruits, vegetables, wildlife, and more. The webinars will be held on the 2nd and 4th Wednesday of each month at 1 p.m. through Zoom. Registration is required to attend the series. March's topics will be diagnosing your plant problems on March 12th and tree care on March 26th. For more information on the Get Outside with Alabama Smart Yards webinar series, contact Danny Carroll at carrolldl@aces.edu. The Alabama Department of Public Health is asking for the help of Alabamians to assess the health needs of women of childbearing age, infants, children, and youth in the state. There are several ways the public can assist: an anonymous online survey, through focus groups, key informant interviews, and listening sessions that will be hosted around the state by the UAB School of Public Health. The purpose of collecting this data is to ensure that public funds are being used wisely and to meet the requirements of the federal Title V Maternal and Child Health Services Block Grant Program. For more information, visit ADPH's Maternal and Child Health website or contact the Office of Maternal and Child Health toll-free at 1-800-654-1385. The Cullman Area Chamber of Commerce and Visitor Center invites you to join them for a community luncheon featuring a distinguished panel of local judges as they discuss key topics impacting our legal system and community. The luncheon will take place at Allstake Friday, March 14th from 11:30 to 1. The cost is $21 for members and $31 for non-members. This unique opportunity to hear firsthand from local judges about the current legal trends and issues affecting businesses and community will be presented by Lister Hill Credit Union. If you would like to attend, scan the QR code to register. Hartselle Theater is bringing the beloved musical Grease to life with a family-friendly school edition adaptation. This production features a cast and crew of students from Hartselle Junior High and High School. This school edition of Grease maintains its nostalgic charm and high-energy musical numbers that audiences know and love, while adapting the content for younger performers and viewers. Additionally, it features a shorter runtime for families who want to enjoy a night at the theater while still getting home at a reasonable hour on school nights. Performances will take place on March 11th at 7 p.m. for a Friends and Family preview night with discounted tickets, followed by shows March 13th through 15th at 7 p.m. and a matinee performance on March 15th at 2 p.m. Tickets are available for $25 for reserved seating, $15 for general admission, and $12 for students and seniors. Tickets are available for purchase by scanning the QR code or by contacting Hartselle High School. And that's your 4 stories in under 4 minutes. Now for a quick break before we look at the weather ahead and pay our respects with obituaries. I'll be right back after this message.
Step into Cullman, where local heroes and community spirit shine. Introducing Community Matters Magazine from the Cullman Tribune, your guide to inspiring tales and community spirit. Celebrate our local champions and dive into the festivities at Christ Kindle Market. Feel the season's cheer and discover stories that inspire. Community Matters Magazine. Connect with your community. Find your free issue at these locations or download a copy online.
Let's take a moment to pause and remember those who have lost their lives this week as we turn to obituaries. James Robert Bob Caswell Sr., 72 of Warrior, passed away on Sunday, March 2nd. The family will be holding a private memorial service in his honor at a later date. Dwayne Neal Morris, 93, passed away on Monday, March 3rd. Visitation will be Friday, March 7th at the chapel at Dawson at 10 a.m., followed by a funeral service at 11 a.m. A lunch will be served afterwards. A graveside service will follow at 3:30 p.m. at Flint Creek Baptist Cemetery. Daniel Wayne Burks passed away on Friday, February 28th. A memorial will be held at 11 a.m. on Wednesday, March 26th at Ebenezer Baptist Church in West Point. Nelda Sue Beasley, 86, passed away on Saturday, March 1st. A celebration of life visitation will be held on Thursday, March 6th at Moss Service Funeral Home from 1 p.m. until the funeral service time at 2 p.m., with burial to follow at Sardis Baptist Cemetery. Our thoughts and prayers go out to their friends and families. Now let's take a moment to look ahead at your weather forecast. Today, we'll see increasing clouds and a continued breeze with a high near 54 and a low around 32. Thursday, the sun will return with a high near 54, mostly cloudy Thursday night with a low around 37. And that wraps up today's edition of Cullman Today. Thank you for sharing your morning with us. And remember to stay connected by following us on social media and visiting CullmanTribune.com for the latest from our community. We'll see you bright and early tomorrow morning at 6:30 a.m. I'm Christine Wiggins with Cullman Today. Have a fantastic day, Cullman.